I've heard national radio do the 8 o'clock bells, you know, the Big Ben or whatever it is, in the middle of there.
When did you come up with the idea of starting a song, then stopping it, then starting it again, then stopping it, then starting it again?
Well, that's a good question. It wasn't written that way. I wrote it as a slow blues, and there weren't all those tacits, those gaps, those silences. And then we got in the studio and vamped it up. My co-producer and engineer, Alan Parsons, Alan said, let's try it quicker, shall we? So I gave it this mid-tempo backbeat rhythm, and we all liked that. Same song, just played quicker with a bit of a backbeat. And then I don't know, I stopped. I sort of cut. I remember cutting it dead in a early take when I was routining it with the musicians. And when Alan and I just thought, that's cool, you know. Don't know why, but we'll stick that in. And then that was it, you know, left them in.
It's one of the few songs that people love and can sing along with and love to do at karaoke, and that we play all the time. Does it bother you that you've got 3 million other songs I could be playing, but I always choose that one?
No, not really. You know better. Your listeners know better. It's okay. It's the Stranger Comes to Town album, we worked out that I've published 127 songs. Quite a lot of hit singles, but you know, we tour a lot. Everyone knows that. You can't tour with one song. You tour, you play 2 hours, 2.25 hours. That's 23, 25 titles, yeah? Make Me Smile is just one of them. And it's no problem for me to sing that at every show. No problem at all. It's never the same twice, frankly. Because the audience pick up on it so quickly and sing along to it. You know, you've got to realise, and I'm sure you do, I can play 300 or 400 or 500 people. They'll all sing it. Then I've just come from the Isle of Wight Festival, Glastonbury, you know, European festivals, and 2,000 seaters indoors. They all sing it. I've had 50,000 people. They'll sing it to me. It's such a buzz. Why would I ever tire of that? It's always at the end of the set. I don't try and follow it. We do it and we walk off. And it's such a high.
What is the key to it? I mean, did you look at that at the time and think, right, okay, how do we recreate something like that?
No, someone said to me recently in an interview, when you'd finished it, did you think you had a big hit on your hands? And all I said was yes. I didn't think. There's no arrogance. There's no sense of ego about it or boasting. It's just yes. Everyone did. The musicians, the engineer, EMI, the managing director of EMI came to Abbey Road. We played it to him and he went, #1. And I said, are you sure? And he said, yeah. I said, I'll hold you to that. Yeah, you kind of know, but you can't know that 35 years later it's still played all the time. It was going to be played that much. And you talked about karaoke. I've seen it. I've been on a cross-channel ferry coming back from a European month away on tour. We on the overnight ferry, and you get cabins to sleep in from the Hook of Holland to Harwich. Yeah. And there's these Dutch and Danish truck drivers. And I've seen them do Make Me Smile. And we've stood at the back there with a glass of wine or a bottle of Guinness, and they sing Make Me Smile. And people are saying to me, you go and do it, you go and do it. And I said, no, I'd be scared I wouldn't win. Is it a competition? I don't know about karaoke, really, but I've seen people singing it, and it's fabulous.
What was your life like in the peak in the 70s when everybody was interested in you and your life, and you were the sex symbol and all that stuff? Was it as hedonistic as we believed?
Yeah, it was pretty mad. I never really embraced fame with the sort of panache that others do. I prefer to go down the street with my head down. I love people coming up to me. I love it. I'm very flattered, and I'm fine with complete strangers chatting to me. I'm completely fine. But I don't choose to be spotted and noticed, if you take my point. You can choose to dress down or dress up. You can walk in the room like Lady Gaga and everyone knows who you are, or you can go in a little less flamboyant and have a quiet evening. It's really that simple in showbiz and even the rock world that I live in. But it was hedonistic, yeah. I came out of the 70s having sold millions of records, but I'd lived my life in stupid limousines, spending money on things that are better off, the Class B substances, and better off not being talked about on your show, really. And, that's what it was. That's what it was. Champagne and drugs. You're of a time. My kids are really straight,
You make a good point, though, because today we hear about the Amy Winehouses and the stuff that goes on in front of the cameras. Has anything changed in music, or did it always go on, but you just did it behind the cameras?
I never saw girls falling about in the 70s like they do now. I'm sorry about that they do that. Girls overindulging in the booze, the vodka and whatever it is. They didn't do that in the 70s. You never saw that. They could hold whatever it was they drank.
Is that obsessive need for fame, is that where that comes from, do you think?
I have no idea. I never had that. I think they have it now because of the TV, because of mid-90s onwards. Everyone can be a star, Andy Warhol said famous for 15 minutes. Now it's, hey, 5 minutes will do. Just give me 5 minutes. I just want to be on the telly. Why? What on earth do they get from it? It ain't what it's cracked up to be, I tell you. It's horrible, the actual being spotted and annoyed all the time. It's good if you keep control of it and rein it in now and again.
And of course, you were around in the days of ABBA and bands like that. Were you up against them? How did you view your competition in those days? Was it all one big club, or were you better than them or different? Because I get the feeling your music, with the greatest respect, it didn't go down market. You were making proper records, weren't you, to be remembered? I know those are still played, but do you see what I mean? You weren't playing them for the disco, were you?
No, I wasn't. I didn't write for other people, Alex. I wrote what I had to write and produced what I felt like producing in the studio at that time, and I'm still like that. You've got to do where you follow your heart. You've got to follow your heart. I write songs. I'm not interested in either fame or bubblegum. It's good for those who want it, that's fine, but it's just not the way I was brought up, and it's not in my psyche to be like that. And I was never in a competition with anybody. I said hello to everyone at Top of the Pops. She bumped into everyone in the top 20 for years and years. It was that was fine and fabulous, but I never felt, even to this day, as I sit here talking to you, I feel like an outsider. I mean, I walk on stage, and that's the only time when that spotlight hits me and I've got an audience in front of me, that's the only time I really understand and recognise that I am part of the music business. Can't help it. It's never gone away. I'm happier with the Daily Telegraph crossword, my racing friends, horse racing friends that I mix with, and my family. I'm writing alone in my little world. I live in a bit of a cocoon, to be honest, and it's only, as I say, when that light hits that I feel part of the music business, when they applaud me and I think I do belong.
This new album is tremendous, and congratulations on it. I love it. My favourite track is Stranger Comes to Town. What a lovely song this is. Congratulations on that.
That's really kind of you. Thank you.
Really lovely to talk to you, and thanks for coming on the programme.
My pleasure, matey.